Welcome to Movie Minutes. This is a full recap of Squid Game Season 1. If you're new here, grab some popcorn, sit back, and relax. In this movie, individuals with financial problems are drawn into a mysterious competition. The games may look like innocent childhood favorites, but here, the stakes are life or death. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more, and please kindly share it with your friends to relax too. Let's meet our main character, Gi-hun. Gi-hun is what you'd call a lovable loser. He's flat out broke and drowning in debt as he owes a lot of money to bad people, and they are very angry with him. Gi-hun loves his little daughter, but because he is poor, his ex-wife thinks he isn't a good father. She says he can't see his daughter unless he changes his life. One day when Gi-hun is at his lowest, a mysterious stranger approaches him. This stranger asks, "Do you want to play a game?" The game is simple. Flip a paper card on the ground. If Gi-hun wins, he gets money. If he loses, the man slaps him on the face because Gi-hun has no money to bet. Gi-hun gets slapped many times, but in the end, he wins some money. The stranger gives him a card and says, "If you want to play more games, call this number." Gi-hun calls the number, and a van comes to pick him up. But something strange happens. The van sprays gas, and he falls asleep. When he wakes up, he is in a big room with lots of people. Everyone is wearing green clothes like him. The room is full of beds, and strange people in pink clothes and masks are watching them. A man in a black mask, called the front man, explains the rules. The players will play 6 games. If they win, they get a lot of money. But if they lose, they will be eliminated forever. The first game begins. The players walk through a weird staircase that looks like a colorful maze. Then, they come to a big open field. At the end of the field, there is a giant robot doll. The game is red light, green light. The rule is simple. Run when the doll says, green light, and stop when it says, red light. If you move after, red light, you lose. At first, everyone thinks it's a fun game. But when the doll catches someone moving, there's a loud bang. The person falls to the ground and doesn't get up. Everyone realizes that losing the game means you die. People start running away, but the guards shoot them. It's scary, and many players are gone in just a few minutes. Gi-hun stays calm and follows the rules. At one point, he trips and almost falls, but a kind player grabs him and helps him stand up. Thanks to this, Gi-hun makes it to the end of the game. Only half of the players survive. The players are shocked and scared, but this is just the first game. The next games will be even harder. The players just barely make it through the first game, and they realize Squid Game is no joke. Many of them are terrified and want to go home. They beg the masked guards, saying, "Please, let us leave." The guards explain, "You're not prisoners. Remember, you agreed to this. If more than half of you vote to leave, the games will end." But before they vote, something shocking happens. A giant glass piggy bank is lowered, and it starts filling with money. Every time someone is eliminated, the prize gets bigger. The players are amazed by how much money they could win, but the fear of death is still strong. They vote, and it's very close. Gi-hun votes to leave because he doesn't want to die. The final vote is made by the sweet old man, player 1. To everyone's surprise, he votes to end the games. The players are let go and dropped off in the middle of the road. They return to their regular lives, but life outside is still hard. Gi-hun finds out his mom is very sick, and they can't afford the treatment. Many other players face similar problems, loved ones to care for, big debts, or lives they can't fix without money. One by one, almost all of them decide to go back and play again. When the games restart, Gi-hun has made a few friends. First, there's player 1, the kind old man who is dying from a brain tumor. Then there's Sang-woo, Gi-hun's childhood best friend. Sang-woo was once very successful in business, but now he's in trouble because of bad financial choices. Another friend is Ali, a hardworking man from Pakistan. Ali saved Gi-hun's life during the first game, and Sang-woo even gave Ali bus fare when they were out of the game. Ali is loyal and kind. Then there's Se-byuk, a quiet but tough girl who once stole Gi-hun's money. She wants to win so she can take care of her little brother. There's also a gangster named Dak-soo, who's mean and dangerous. He doesn't get along with Se-byuk. Finally, there's a loud, annoying woman who never stops talking, but she starts to grow on you because she's so funny. While Gi-hun was out of the game, he tried to tell the police about it, but no one believed him. One detective, though, finds it suspicious. He sees the strange card Gi-hun got and remembers that his missing brother had one too. The detective decides to sneak into the game by disguising himself as one of the guards in a pink jumpsuit. The next game begins. The players are told to choose one of 4 shapes: a circle, a triangle, a star, or an umbrella. Nobody knows what the game is, so they just pick randomly. Gi-hun chooses the umbrella. The game is called honeycomb. Each player gets a cookie with their chosen shape carved into it. The goal is to carefully cut the shape out of the cookie using a needle, without breaking it. If the cookie cracks, you're eliminated. The umbrella is the hardest shape of all, and Gi-hun realizes he's in big trouble. Players are panicking as they mess up and get eliminated. Gi-hun struggles until he comes up with a clever idea. He licks the back of the cookie to make it softer. Slowly, the shape loosens, and he manages to finish just in time. Once again, Gi-hun survives, but the games are only getting harder. Gi-hun wins the honeycomb game, so he gets to live another day. At dinner, the players are given very little food, and everyone is hungry. A tough guy tries to take more food, and when another player stands up to him, the tough guy beats him badly, so badly that the player dies. The guards in pink outfits do nothing. Instead, they take the dead player's body away in a fancy black coffin and add more money to the giant piggy bank. The players now understand, hurting or even killing other players is allowed. That night, when the lights go out, chaos begins. Players start fighting each other, trying to survive. After a while, the guards stop the violence, but it's clear, everyone needs to find strong teammates to survive. The next game is a team game, so the players start forming groups. The tough guy, Dak-soo, teams up with the strongest players. He promises to include a loud, annoying girl, but then betrays her and leaves her out. She's angry and swears she'll get back at him. This new game is tug of war, where two teams pull on a rope. The losing team falls off a tall platform and dies. Gi-hun's team looks weak. They have an old man, some girls, and only a few strong players. But the old man has a plan. He explains that tug of war isn't just about strength, it's about teamwork and strategy. They follow his advice. Line up in a special way, hold the rope tight without pulling it first, and then pull with all their strength when the other team gets tired. It works for a while, but their team is still losing. Then, Sang-woo comes up with a risky idea: take a step forward to make the other team lose balance. They try it, and it works. Gi-hun's team wins, and they all survive. Meanwhile, strange things are happening behind the scenes. A doctor is secretly working with some guards to take organs from the dead players and sell them. The detective, who snuck into the games in disguise, accidentally becomes part of this secret group. When their plan is discovered, the guards kill the doctor and the others involved. The detective keeps searching for clues about his missing brother and finds something shocking: his brother played in these games before, and even won. The next game begins, and the players must find a partner. Everyone assumes the player without a partner will be eliminated. Gi-hun chooses the old man, player 1, as his partner. The loud, annoying girl ends up alone and feels sad. The game is marbles. Each pair of players has to play against each other, and only one person from each pair will survive. Gi-hun is upset. He doesn't want to compete against the kind old man. Sang-woo pairs with Ali. Ali is winning at first because of his beginner's luck. But Sang-woo tricks him. He says, "Let's work together and survive." He asks Ali to give him all his marbles for a special plan. Ali agrees, but later finds out Sang-woo lied and took all his marbles. Ali loses the game because of Sang-woo's betrayal. Gi-hun plays marbles with the old man, but the old man starts acting confused, saying he can't remember what they bet. Gi-hun has to make a tough choice. He cheats to win. The old man, who seemed confused, later reveals he knew all along. But instead of being angry, he forgives Gi-hun and gives him his last marble, saying, "You're my best friend." Se-byuk pairs with another girl. Instead of playing, they sit and talk about their lives. In the end, the other girl gives up and lets Se-byuk win, saying, "You have more to live for than I do." As for the loud, annoying girl who had no partner, she isn't eliminated. Instead, she's allowed to skip the game and take a nap. The games are getting close to the end, and some very rich people, called VIPs, arrive to watch. These rich people don't care about the players, they just like betting on who will win or lose. The next game is announced, and the players must choose their order. Everyone thinks the middle spots are safest, so they rush to pick those. Gi-hun hesitates too long and is left with only two choices: go first or go last. The next game starts, but no one knows what it is. The players have to choose the order they'll play. Gi-hun doesn't know what to pick. It could be dangerous to go first or last. Thankfully, another player offers to go first. The game is about crossing a bridge made of glass panels. Some panels are strong and can hold a person, but others are weak and will break. The players have to guess which glass to step on, or they'll fall. Gi-hun is lucky because he's near the back and can watch others go first. Soon, players realize they can push others to test the glass. The tough guy, Dok-soo, refuses to move forward. But guess who's behind him? The loud, annoying girl. She grabs him in a big hug and says, "If I go, you go too." Then she pulls him down with her, and they both fall. One of the players near the front knows a lot about glass because he used to make it. He can tell which panels are safe. But the VIPs watching the game think this makes it less exciting, so they turn off the lights. Now he can't tell the difference between the glass. With time running out, Sang-woo pushes the glassmaker forward to test the glass. The man falls, but Gi-hun and the others make it to the end just in time. The bridge explodes behind them, and flying glass cuts Se-byuk badly. She's hurt but still alive. Later, Gi-hun is upset with Sang-woo for pushing the man. Sang-woo argues, "This is life or death. I'd push you if I had to." Their friendship is falling apart. Meanwhile, the detective trying to uncover the truth finally escapes with proof. But he can't send it, there's no phone signal. At a cliff, he's caught by the front man, who shockingly reveals he's the detective's missing brother. The detective asks why he's working for the people running the games, but before he gets an answer, his brother shoots him, and he falls off the cliff. Now only 3 players are left: Gi-hun, Sang-woo, and Se-byuk. They're given a fancy steak dinner, but when the plates are cleared, the knives are left behind. That night, no one sleeps. Gi-hun is afraid Sang-woo might try to kill him. Gi-hun teams up with Se-byuk. They promise to take care of each other's families if one of them wins. Se-byuk is very weak from her injury. Gi-hun considers killing Sang-woo while he's sleeping, but Se-byuk stops him, saying, "You're a good person. Don't become like him." Suddenly, Se-byuk collapses. She's losing too much blood. Gi-hun calls for help, but instead of bringing a doctor, the guards bring a coffin. Sang-woo had been pretending to sleep. He kills Se-byuk. Gi-hun is heartbroken and furious, but he knows their fight will have to wait for the final game. The last game is the Squid Game, a Korean kids game played on a squid-shaped court. The rules are simple. One player has to reach the end zone, and the other tries to stop them. Anything goes, there are no rules. It starts raining, and the final match becomes a fierce, muddy fight. Sang-woo gains the upper hand and is about to win, but Gi-hun turns things around. In the end, Gi-hun has the chance to kill Sang-woo, but he doesn't. Instead, Gi-hun walks toward the end zone to win. But then, he stops. Gi-hun realizes he doesn't want to win like this. He calls out to Sang-woo, saying, "Let's end the games together and go home." Sang-woo, realizing how kind Gi-hun is, feels ashamed. Instead of leaving, he chooses to take his own life. After all the betrayals, Sang-woo sacrifices himself so Gi-hun can win. Gi-hun leaves with the prize money, but he doesn't feel happy. He's dropped off on the road again, just like before, but this time with a debit card full of money. Gi-hun is now super rich, but it feels empty. He feels sad about Sang-woo's death and heartbroken because his mom died while he was in the games. 1 year later, Gi-hun isn't doing well. He has a messy beard, doesn't use any of his money, and feels very guilty about everything that happened. Then one day, he gets a message from the Squid Game people. He goes to meet someone at the top of a tall building, and it's the old man. The old man reveals a shocking secret: he created the Squid Games. Gi-hun can't believe it. He asks, "Why would you do this?" The old man explains that he was super rich and bored. He didn't care about poor people's lives. But his brain tumor was real, so he decided to play in the games for fun one last time. Right after this, the old man dies. Gi-hun decides to change his life. First, he gets a haircut to feel fresh, but for some reason, he dyes it bright red. Then he keeps his promise to Se-byuk by adopting her little brother. He brings the boy to Sang-woo's mom and gives her a suitcase full of cash to take care of them. Finally, Gi-hun heads to the airport to fly to America and visit his daughter. But as he's about to board the plane, he sees something shocking: Squid Game is still happening. The games didn't stop, and the front man is still in charge. The people running the games tell Gi-hun to just take his money and live his life. But Gi-hun makes a bold choice. He turns away from the plane and decides to stay. He's on a mission to stop the Squid Games forever. And that's the end of Squid Game Season 1.